Hello everybody, welcome to Cape Rugby TV Wednesday night. It's all about Western Province Club Rugby. And as we promised, we don't stop, we go right through the year. We take every opportunity we can to give extra exposure to club rugby, which is of course our favorite local sport. Yes, rugby is pretty much a 6-month season, but when you think of amateur sport, then clubs are open all year long with all sorts of different activities. So right now we are busy with the captain's table, where we have members from various clubs joining us to talk about their past season and of course their season ahead, not to mention the fact that there's off season. Joining us on the show tonight from Macassar, Darren Roman. Hello Darren.
Hi JP, thanks for having us after a wonderful season for Macassar.
Yes, I suppose you're going to probably brag a little bit tonight, eh?
You have to make yourself the opportunity.
From Busy Bees, Becky Temba Gibikole. Hello Becky.
Hello JP, it's a pleasure to have me here in the studio here today.
Is it the first time you're in the studio?
Well, it's actually the first time.
In the studio?
In the studio, yes sir.
But we've interviewed you before?
Yes sir.
A couple of times, yeah.
Yes,
and
sir.
from Goodwood, Clyde Gordon. Hello Clyde.
Hi there Japes, thanks for having me.
It's great to have you guys here. This is going to be an interesting show because you guys all played against each other in Super League C. I know last week I asked the guys if they were mortal enemies and they said, no, we're all big friends. But I don't know if we all said, you guys all...
It's actually friends, man, more friends because it's people you see all year round, and then obviously we met each other in the
competition.
In the year presents.
Was that the first time that you met each other in the league? Or you probably played against each other last year as well?
No, yes, last year we played against each other as well. But obviously new guys, new faces, so you don't always see the same faces at the same club.
Yeah.
You might see JP at, say, Goodwood, and the next year you see him at Macassar or at Busy Bees.
Yeah. Were you guys around, I don't know, Darren, when there was still the home and away scenario? Did any of you play the home and away?
Yeah, we obviously, I think that was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Obviously at that time you could, if you lost the one match at home, you can always take revenge going away and match up again with the same team. But obviously things have changed, the format have changed. So excited for things going forward.
What do you think of the format? There's a different format now. It's like almost like a super rugby format.
Yeah, I think I find it, actually one of our, I think our managers were a bit skeptical about the competition, the format. But I think it worked out well in the end for us. I mean, all clubs now need to focus is just ending in the top 6 position. I mean, you can use that as a benchmark for your season. And then if you end in that top 6, you can probably gain promotion to the next league. Yeah. From my side, I think fantastic idea. But then again, Super League B and Super League A.
Don't you think it's a bit unfair? You play this great season, and I don't know, Becky, how do you feel about it? You play this great season, and some team that ended at 6 comes and snaps it away from you in the last minute.
Well, actually, it was a great season. It was a great season, but it does kind of deceive some teams because there's some teams which I know they were working to get into just number 6 or number 4 or number or number 5.
Yeah. But
the aim is always to be number 1 or number 2, so that you know that you stand a very good, fair chance of going into Super League B.
Yeah, Darren. I mean, Clyde. When I looked at you guys in the first few weeks of the league, those top 4 teams in Super League C, it was like playing musical chairs. We weren't sure the one was up, the one was down. The next week you were changing again.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because every week is a challenge. All the teams are fighting hard. I don't even think there was a real difference between the teams, because if you off the one week, they'll take advantage.
Yeah.
Understand me? So it was all fair. It's all fair.
Who would you say was your toughest competitors this year?
Toughest competitors, no doubt, Macassar. Yeah. Busy Bees were always the outside dogs. I don't know, because we never took note of them. And then nearing in, and then we see they're right on top. And then I think they took our spot over. They took second, and we ended third. So it was tough, but okay, that's life, I guess.
Do you agree, Becky?
Well, actually, there was no club that actually expected us to see us there, because we were lingering between number 6, number 7. There was at some point we were even number 8, and the other clubs were counting us out. But we knew that we had a target where we need to finish in the top 2. So we actually did. That's why Goodwood was so shocked at the end.
Well, I think maybe a few people might have been shocked because I'm just looking at your league season. You opened the season up. Your first game was against Macassar.
Yes.
You lost that.
We lost that.
You lost that 23-3. Then your next game was against Strand. You lost that 22-18. So you were already on the back foot after the first two games. I mean, did you guys think like, oh hell, this is not starting well?
Yes, it was really tough at the beginning of the season for us. It was really, really tough. But however, my boys, we told each other that, guys, we need to start working. And in the next two games, we had a derby against Langa, and we had also to play against. We had actually two derbies within 2 weeks, which was Langa and Blue Jets.
Blue Jets, yeah.
So we regarded those games as one of the important games.
And they were both away. Although the Busy Bees, I mean, the Langa game would have been a home game for both of you.
Yes.
And an away game.
So we started with a match against, I think it was Elsis, where we started gaining our momentum. Then the momentum started building as the season went by.
Yeah, because if I look at that, you lost your first two games, and after that, it was Greens wins all the way through.
We went like 10 wins in a row.
Yeah.
It was 10 wins in a row.
What was the team thinking at that stage?
We were just excited. We wanted to get to Super League B.
I mean, Darren, you guys must have been thinking at that stage, thank heavens we got that first win at the belt, because these guys have got their tails up now. This might be a challenge.
Yeah, actually, we were actually glad we played Busy Bees first, because I think the year before we also had a tough game against them, and I think we actually won that game. But I mean, playing Busy Bees early in the season, it's sort of an advantage for you as a club, because we know the style of play, and I think we actually planned it to the T. I think our last preparation game, off-season game, was against Zebras, I think, Western Zebras.
Yeah.
And they sort of play similar sort of style like Busy Bees and Langa.
Yeah.
So that's the game we targeted and said, if we can go through that game with all our players in play and all our sort of guys that we want to get game time, get through that game, and then that will set us well for the game against Busy Bees, our first league game. And it actually worked out.
Do you think you could have beaten them if you had played them later in the season, considering that they're really on their comeback?
Considering the results we had over the season, I'm sure we would have beaten them.
Kyle, then you guys also played against Busy Bees. Clyde. 30 points to 28. You went down to Busy Bees.
Yeah, do you know what is a bitter pill to swallow of that game? Is I think we were leading 17-3 or 18-3 in the first half, and then I don't know what happened the second half, and then roles were reversed, I guess. And then I think they snatched it at time, like 5 minutes. 5 minutes before. And I think that was heartbreaking. I think we stood on the field for half an hour after that, having discussions on what we're going to do, what's our next step.
Yeah.
Because you can't lead that far and then throw it away. But I guess we become laxy days. You don't understand.
Well, you guys also started off positive. I mean, you started off with 2 wins. The first win there was against Scottsdene and then against Langa. And then you took your first knock against Kalmar.
Against Kalmar,
yeah.
The Kalmar game, I don't think the guys were ready for it. Playing for Goodwood, I don't think we have big crowds. We don't always have big crowds, and then going to Kalmar, it was quite intimidating. A lot of youngsters, understand, and experienced guys. I think it was a shock for us also because, you never play in front of crowds like that anymore. And then,
so
it's bounce the ball.
Who would you say was your toughest game in Super League C this year?
In Super League C, between Macassar, Busy Bees, I think. Yeah. And then Langa also gave us a good,
Are you just saying that because they're sitting with you now tonight?
No, I'm not saying it because we drew Macassar. I think the only team that they dropped points against because we drew. And then Busy Bees because they beat us twice this year. They beat us in the President's Cup and they beat us at their home in Langa. So they were tough.
Macassar's, you guys seem to have restructured a little bit. I know you've also recently had an AGM and got re-elected chairpersons and presidents and so on, but it's like you've been on a public relations mission for the last 2 years.
Yeah, I think myself in that role. I think when we took over in 2016, I think the club went through a whole transition phase of trying to get the club sort of semi-professional. I mean, and it's all about building the culture at the club, keeping the players happy. So I have to sort of build things into the club that will keep them there and build the sustainability at the club. So from a PR perspective, we've run with all the social media platforms. We've tried to sort of come up with team sheets, visual team sheets, video team sheets, all of that things that players can sort of.
Have you got guys at the club that are getting are helping out or investing and investing? What I mean by I'm talking about like their skills. Like the one guy's a photographer and the other guy's a DJ and.
Yeah, we have a couple of guys. We have a few photographers and video cameramen that's assisting the community. Not only Macassar, but the community as a whole. And I think the whole Yalva community. We don't have specific guys that's attached to Macassar or that's.
So everyone's jumping in a little bit. Everyone's helping out.
Yeah.
Becky, we joined you folks. We're looking at the captain's corner, but of course Darren is PR.
Yep.
I mean, I'm going to call you Captain PR, just for the sake of making sure it's a captain's table. But we're talking about what's happening with the clubs that have now taken a break between the league. We'll get started pretty early next year. A lot of clubs just having a couple of weeks off. A lot of doing off-season conditioning and so on. But a couple of weeks off just over the Christmas and the festive period and the New Year period, and then back to training. And we're going to start seeing some warm-up games very early in the year. A lot of the clubs, you remember last year with the drought, guys were doing friendlies and traveling. Did the drought have a big impact on you guys? I mean, you started the league, of course, a little bit later.
In the beginning, obviously, it took its toll because we had to travel out to the Boland area. And it's Saturday in, Saturday out, you had to travel. And the guys became lethargic because it's training. And then it's a 2-hour, 3-hour trip to wherever we're going with a bus. And then not being sure of when the league's going to start, what's going to happen. Is our fields playable?
Yeah.
We had to find places to practice because of the drought situation where VP said not allowed to train the fields. So it was actually a rough year for all teams, I think.
For everybody,
for everyone, captains can't point out to one team.
So folks, we're joined by Darren Roman, he's the Public Relations Officer at Macassar. Becky Kemba Gricole is, of course, Vice Captain at Busy Bees, and Clyde Gordon, Vice Captain at Goodwood. Becky, you guys had pretty good facilities though at the Langa Fields. I think you got your own water there, and not so much of an impact, or a lot of still.
Well,
I don't know what you guys were going through.
If you remember very well, JP, we hosted a tournament, Easter tournament, which was held at CPT Baville Sports Ground, which was sponsored by SCORE. So it played a huge impact on our season, on our preparations for the season. So that is what helped us mostly, because we had like 4 to 5 games which we played in the tournament before we played our 3 or 4 games for the preseason.
I suppose a lot of people would have forgotten about that. It means you guys sneaked in a few warm-up games, proper warm-up games. I mean, there was, what, I think 29 teams.
Yes,
traveled.
we were celebrating, it was our 95th anniversary, as we call ourselves the oldest black club, which was formed in 1923.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you've still got Boland and Mark sponsoring you. They're talking about public relations. You've got Alfred Kawana, who I think of as the big kahuna. So I think some people call him Alfred Kahuna as opposed to Alfred Kawana. Darren's public relations at Macassar. Alfred is an absolute public relations machine at Busy Bees.
Yes, he actually is. He's the director of rugby at Busy Bees. He's the guy who actually gets hold of some of the sponsors and everything. He's the main guy. He's the go-to guy. Yes, he's the main guy. He's the go-to guy when you want to deal with things such as sponsors and organizing tournaments and everything.
Right, folks, that's what it's all about. When you're at ground level, you have to make sure that you make things happen, and certainly the clubs are busy making things happen. You're watching Cape Rugby TV. For those of you that have just joined us for the first time, we are every Wednesday between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, and then the repeat, which seems now to have gone through the roof. Many thousands of people are now tuning in on a Saturday morning just to catch the repeat of the show, which is every Saturday morning between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Now, MChem 24-hour pharmacy is on the corner of Durban Road and the N1. It's open 24 hours a day. You can see the signs behind me here. If you're driving on the N1, just look for the sign there on Durban Road. If you're coming down Tiger Valley Centre, down that road there over the N1, you drive straight into MChem. Free parking. They've got a lovely coffee shop upstairs, serve fantastic meals and breakfast there. And they've got pretty much everything that you need. So make sure that you get down to MChem 24 hours a day. Run into little one gets sick in the middle of the night, MChem 24-hour pharmacy. You bump your toe in the middle of the night, MChem 24-hour pharmacy. You get some flu early in the morning, MChem 24-hour pharmacy. It's easy as that. We'll take an ad break. When we come back, we'll carry on with the captain's table. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. We're just talking about who's going to keep doing Cape Rugby. One of these days we're going to have to start bringing, in fact, maybe for 2019 we need to do this, is we need to bring in junior presenters at the various clubs. What do you think of that, Clyde?
Yeah, I think it'll be a good thing.
You've got this TV voice going on, yeah?
No. I don't think I'll do this. It will be too much because I see what happens here, and you know.
Alfred Kawano wants to be the TV voice. We think Alfred will make a great TV presenter.
Well, that guy is he's a go-getter, actually.
He's a go-getter. Yeah, JP, man, we're coming here. JP, we're going to Busy Bees today. Hey, coming to join us.
yes,
Always
JP.
loving speaking to Alfred.
But you know what? Seeing that Morgan's doing this, I see on Good Hope, he might as well take over because I think he's the face of Cape Rugby with you.
Morgan has been with me for many years. Yeah, he's a co-panel presenter from time to time.
So
And yeah, we're looking for new blood to come through the ranks at some other stage. But guys, let's get back to the league here. Of course, we've got some of the games that we want to talk about. Busy Bees, you guys were up against Blue Jets. Now you mentioned that was a derby. This might sting for Blue Jets a little bit. Let's take a look at these highlights.
Delicious. Delicious.
Right, so it ended up being their win for Busy Bees over Blue Jets. Becky Temba, that's a derby match for you guys.
It was a tough game coming from a derby the previous week against Langa, so the bodies were kind of sore. So we also from that game as well, we came from behind because Blue Jets scored first, and we were shocked. We were like, hey, these guys mean business. So we had to pull up our socks in the second half, and as a result, the score ended in favor for us.
Just go back a step here. You mentioned that the previous week you just played against Langa. Now, for the folks who don't know the locations of the clubs, Busy Bees and Langa is really sharing the same field. How do you guys find the balance of having two clubs at the same field? I mean, how do you decide who plays for who?
Well, there is some players who play for Langa. Then we'd get some players from Langa who choose to play for Busy Bees. So it all depends on the player on which team do they want to go to, because there's also other teams such as Young Ideas, Western Zebras, which are also there. So some of the players, they do actually first move around before they find a stable team. But most of the time they move around during the pre-season games. Then they find a stable team before the league kicks off.
You've got some real leaders in the Busy Bees, Blue Jets space. Anele Zita, Alfred Kawana, Max Makapele. there's a lot of leaders in your space that are. Do you feel that the guys have the opportunity to learn from the guys that are looking after them?
Yes, I believe that they have an opportunity to learn, because for me, as an example, because I always looked up to Mr. Anelizita, because we used to play against the juniors in the under 13, from under 13, under 16, under 19. We used to cry after finals when we lose against Blue Jets. Even Mr. Macapella himself, when we played against Young Ideas, he's always there on the field. They always show their support.
Is there a sense, I mean, if you speak to Max and you speak to Alfred, they'll tell you the stories of Busy Bees and Darren and Clyde. I don't know if you guys know about these kind of things, but you know, back in the days, in the deep apartheid days and the secret police, and that the guys couldn't play sport. At least they were not allowed to have political meetings. So they would pretend to play rugby at the Busy Bees field and have a little secret political meeting.
Makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
So, I mean, you've got not only sport leaders there, but you've got real community leaders. I mean, do the guys know what your leaders sacrificed? I mean, we've got such a younger generation now. You're one of them. Is there a sense of these are the guys who, if it wasn't for them, we would not be playing rugby today?
Well, I believe that if it wasn't for them, because those are the guys who actually spotted most of the guys that are playing it for the first team. Even our captain Luvo Kyapi, he was also spotted by Alfred Kewana. We grew up playing together. So most of these guys actually look up to the likes of Anelizita, Sutu Kewana as well.
Yeah. Macassar, you guys have got the same scenario. It's also a question of people came before you to make sure that the clubhouse got built, the fields were looked after, not always with the kind of support that you needed from civil society structures or municipal structures. I mean, whenever I've been down to Macassar, it always looked like something was broken. But you've had to work it through the system now as a community.
Yeah, obviously that's something that we all have to get used to, especially all the community clubs. We obviously need the support from the city of Cape Town, but I think there's a new bill passed that clubs can now look after their facilities on their own, so they can start to manage it. So that's what we've been doing the last couple of years. We actually have a groundsman there, David, we call him Davi. So he's actually looking after our field, so he's looking after, so we use a grey water system, so he's watering the field regularly for us. And then you spoke about leadership in the community. I think we all have a couple of those at Macassar. If you mention the guys like Gabriel Noble, Stuart Africa, Warren Walters, there's a couple of guys who all played non-racial sport. So they are the guys that the players look up to. Luckily we have Warren Walters who's still at the club, so he's leading a hand at the coaching front of the team.
Talking about the coaching front, I'm curious, how did you guys find the balance having two coaches?
I think we have three actually in the first team. So initially last year.
Even worse. I mean, how do you find the balance with three coaches?
So initially Chris Langeveld, who's the head coach for this year, he was the director of rugby last year. Yeah. So he has a very special relationship with the guys. So he's a teacher at one of our feeding schools at Zandvliet High. So he coached most of those players at school 5 years ago. So that relationship is still there, it's very strong. So he has a very strong management aspect of the game, and then Warren and Ryan Harris provides the sort of the technical coaching aspects of the game, and Chris sort of just has that oversight, leadership and management oversight.
I never know how to interview the coaches after the game because they've got three coaches to interview. Normally it's easy, but with Macassar it's always tricky. From a Goodwood side of things, you guys are going now, as everybody else here, you guys are going up to Super League B. Last year they said Super League B is the league of death. It was just derby. The games were all 1 point differences. Do you think Super League B is going to be as tough this year?
I think if not as tougher, because as the likes of St. George's came down, Bellagh came down, you're playing against stalwart clubs in the league where Kales River, Bellvilles, the Collegians. So there's no easy game, and it's going to be tough for us for the three clubs coming up, because it's totally new grounds, and we're going to have to think if harder or extra harder.
Yeah, it's interesting that you said that, because if you look at the likes of St. George's, Bellagh, these are all clubs that have played in Super League A. and have now been that have come down, they will not. Their mission will be not just to survive in the league. Their mission will be to get back to Super League A. So it's going to be for you guys not as if you're playing against a Super League B side. It'll be like you're playing against a Super League A side. Which will. It's going to be tough.
Of course, because I forgot to mention Alderberg. So Macassar has, I think they have a tricky ahead. If all of us, because in our vicinity we have Belleville, the Kells Rivers near. So it's going to be tough, and for Macassar I think it's going to be worse because they have Alderberg. It's them, St. George's. So they're all in the Alderberg basin.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be lovely rugby to
watch. Are we again going to see a Helderberg derby league here?
Yeah, most definitely for Super B next. I think it's 4 derbies.
Busy bees and Goodwood. Sorry.
We fought.
All right, let's move along, folks. We've got to show you some of the highlights of the game. Macassar, we're up against Busy Bees. All right, so we're not really sure between the two folks that are joining Darius and Becky Kemba what the final result is. We'll give you the final result in a sec. Playing at the glorious Newlands, Macassar and Busy Bees. Now that's a great interview to have. I've got the two teams who played at Newlands. Normally it would be like the Bulls and the Sharks or something like that. I mean, not the Bulls and Sharks. One of them would have to be the Stormers or Western Promise. Yes. Darren, I don't know if you were probably on the side of the field there, but how did it feel playing at Newlands?
Yeah, it was fantastic especially for the community and for the players itself. I was actually with the guys in the cloakroom before the match, and I could see the excitement on their faces and the gears going around in the team. And I think they just went on to that game just to enjoy themselves. I think they completely forgot about the structure. They just went out and played and enjoyed themselves.
Well, still a good result. I mean, you guys walked away with a win. That's what you were looking for.
Yeah, great spectacle of rugby for the communities, and I think it was a game of 2 halves. Yes. I think we led 28-0 at one stage, and then Busy Bees came back. But great spectacle of rugby.
Oh, look at Becky Temme, he's stinging now. Huh?
Well, that was a tough game, a really, really tough game. But however, as our coach had said, he said it was a cherry on the cake. Mr. Hilton Pettinger, he said it was a cherry on top of the cake for us to go and play at Newlands. Our main focus was not to actually play at Newlands. We just wanted to gain promotion. So for the guys as we went onto the field, we just said, guys, let's just go out there and have fun at the end of the day and have fun. So
You know, watching from the outside, I thought that it was probably Busy Bee's best year ever in my history.
yes, sir.
And the reason that I say that is because I thought that the likes of Alfred took advantage of every single opportunity during the time, and I thought that it would be really good for the players and good for the community, the people maybe want to play for Busy Bees, because at City Park you jammed up half the stadium.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then at Newlands, you came out with all the buses, so there was even more activity, and it just looked like Busy Bees. Everyone was talking about Busy Bees. I mean, that must have been great for you guys.
Yes, we thank our community because they are actually our backbones, because they're always there supporting us. Our juniors, because we have a big group of development of juniors from under 7 up until under 19, and we have the ladies team as well. So when you put all of that together, it becomes one big community, and we represent Langa.
Let's talk about your season. You had some close games this year, 41-40. I remember some of the results, but the Penil Villages game was maybe a game that stood out for you guys.
It was, JP. That was our last fighting chance to gain promotion. As you know, we lost one of our players, last league game of the year.
Yeah.
So we had an emotional ride the last couple of games. I think the Wednesday evening we played Strand United, and that was an emotional game because it was the first game after we lost Kyle. And then from there it was just an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, I have now twice on the show called you Kyle, and it just goes to show how much he is still
Still part
in
of
my
us.
mind and everybody's mind. You know, he sat in this chair, in fact, a year ago this time. It must have been a tough time for Goodwood.
It was a tough time, but before Kyle, I have to mention we lost also, not lost him to, but he had a serious injury in the beginning of the year. He lost his leg, so they had to amputate it.
Yeah.
So our year started off gingerly. We had to deal with that, and then coming
How
up.
do you deal with it? How do you get through these times? I mean, all clubs have to go. Macassar, we were talking about, you also lost a player. Hands and Hearts lost their first team coach. It's these things happen. How do you get through it?
The thing is, the brotherhood is all that carries you through, and because we know each other personally, so there's a good support structure from our club, and then obviously VP was supportive
Yeah.
in this whole ordeal that we went through. But I must actually take my hat off to the players, because as a vice and as captains, as Wayne Prince, it was difficult because there's no way you can pick up a guy after a loss that we had like that, man. We came in the cloakroom the very first after the Wednesday evening against Strand United. It was quiet. There was no Kyle. Kyle was always the one speaking. He was, he was the life of the party, if you can put it that way. And having to play the games after that was actually hectic. The day we played Busy Bees, it was his funeral, the Saturday morning. Some guys were up since 7. We got to the field like at after 2. We got there, our game was delayed by an hour and a half, so it was a draining Saturday, and then still having to play them, and then we took the knock, and the guys were really gutted.
Well, I'm pretty sure he will be very proud of your performance and what you guys have done now.
And you know what is actually not the funny part, but he said in the cloakroom at Strand, the only thing that matters right now is just 80 minutes. Nothing else matters. And that's the way he lived his life, and I guess that's just how we carried on.
Yeah, I think he's made a big impact on everybody's lives, even post his death. Of course, very sad, folks, to have lost Kyle Barnes, their captain of Goodwood. But Goodwood were up against Penil Villages in the promotion relegation game at City Park. Let's take a look at those highlights. All right, there we go. City Park. How was City Park for you guys? It's not Newlands, but it's City Park. It's still the B field, so to speak. Newlands B.
Well, getting there, we were nervous. It was a bit nerve-wracking because we knew this is the final straw. But I think once the guys hit the field, it was easy going. I wouldn't say easy going, but it's second nature. But yeah,
but Peniel Village is still a dangerous team. You guys mentioned it yourself earlier on. They come down from Super League A. Okay, things didn't go all there. They've been in Super League A, so you got a team that does have a feeling of experience there.
The thing was, we just backed our structures. We backed each other.
Yeah.
A lot of young guys. Conveniently, we spoke to one of the players that played when you Leroy Buthout. So knowing him as well and what the danger he was, it was at the back of our minds. But I think the guys stepped up and we knew what we were playing for, and we knew our goal for the year. And
do you do that? Do you guys spy on each other? Have you got? Becky says no. Do you have any idea who the danger players are when you're out there?
Well, I think most of the guys know each other because of all the years that they played together, probably at school level or at provincial level, at school rugby. So you do sort of know the danger guys in the teams. I think especially us with Goodwood, I mean, we've been playing them for 3 years. So we sort of built that. It's all sort of a derby now when we play Goodwood. But you do know the guys who you watch out on Cape TV of the matches or the previews and see what to look out for.
But you get a lot of that now. You get every Saturday you've got an idea. It's not a strange team anymore. I know we spoke earlier on about the home and away derby thing, but nowadays you get an idea of where am I going on Saturday. You know where the club is. You know how to drive there. You know who's going to be there. People are going to say hello. It's back in the day things were threatening. Things were bad. Now it's like chommy.
Exactly.
Okay, not completely chommy, but
I think it's the platform that is set there, the social medias, as now you start this Cape Rugby. So you get to see a lot more of the guys. And the clubs interact a lot more than we did back in the day, because when it was still the 10-team structure, it was you only played those teams. You never played outside of your leagues. Yeah. Whereas now it's 15 teams, so now you get more teams, you understand, exposed to more people, more fans, more.
We spoke also a little bit about Sevens rugby. Macassar, Goodwood, I'm not sure, Busy Bees. Did you guys play in the Sevens this?
Yes,
did all three of you?
They did play.
We didn't play.
You didn't play Macassar, but you have played in the Sevens before, and you've been known to be a dangerous outfit.
Yeah, we actually have a very good Sevens team. Yeah. But I think that decision was made at the beginning of the year. We had processes and structures in place. We wanted, Sevens is not a priority at the moment. We wanted the 50-man code to play in the higher league. We wanted to cement our position in Super League B, and that was our focus for the year. We said we're not going to play in Sevens for the year, but obviously this year, the new year, before season starts, we'll obviously take part in a few.
But there's nothing wrong. There's nothing stopping you coming to visit and watch the Sevens on the day.
Yeah, of course, we've been around. I think I've watched a couple of games at the Sevens.
Yeah. Good, Joel?
Yes, the Busy Bees Seven sides, they did, it was their first season, and they actually surprised a lot of teams. A lot of people were shocked because I think they missed out by like 2 points. I think they missed out by 2 points into the playoffs.
Now, I think the Sevens thing is, now you mentioned, you spoke about how you guys get to meet each other. I think the Sevens thing is quite nice because on the day, you're there for the whole day, you sit close to each other, you walk around, you shake hands, you get to know each other, maybe have a conversation, have a drink, have a bit of fun. It's a little bit more social.
It is a bit more social, and the guys are just there to enjoy themselves. Yeah. It's not as serious. I don't think the clubs take it as seriously as the 15-man code, but it gives the club chance to breed younger players and see what they're all about. And then obviously there's poaching going on.
Yeah. Oh, is that one of the players? I see Darren walking around with his clipboard.
So there's his clipboard here, and then
making notes.
But at the end, it's all about fun.
Folks, we're of course busy with the captain's table. We're speaking to Darren Roman from Macassar. Biki Temba Gibikole is of course the vice captain at Busy Bees, and Clyde Gordon is the vice captain at Goodwood. So as you know, every week we'll be doing the captain's corner for and chat to the various captains, and it's a great opportunity for them also to get to meet each other, especially during the breaks. The guys have all sorts of fun and games, a lot of jokes. And for those that have to wait perhaps before the show, they sit around and they start swapping telephone numbers. And we often wonder why they're swapping telephone numbers. But nevertheless, a lot of fun, yeah. But with the DHL Stormers, of course, also busy with their off-season training. And when we come back from the break, we'll catch up with some of the players. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Use the hashtag #WP Club Rugby so that we can find your content. And one of the things that we're busy with at the moment is, of course, the community notice board, the community diary, so to speak, where a lot of the clubs busy with activities. I know that Hamilton's has got a party of sort coming up. Durban has got Durban had it this weekend where they were busy with the Sevens, the HSBC Sevens. Did you guys go to the Sevens?
I was at Sevens on Sunday.
You were on the Sevens on Sunday?
But it was a bit disappointing after the Blitzbox loss, and then
It's still great to be there. Huh?
it was a great, it's a festival vibe.
Anyway, so what Durban did was they invited people to come to their clubhouse and watch the rugby there. So that was for Durban. Then we know that Tigerberg has got a coaching clinic coming up. I'm thinking off the top of my head now. What else? Anyway, a lot of different clubs, a lot of different activities right now. They're not necessarily practicing, but they're still getting together the braai. You guys got anything going on? Jumping castles, braaiing, fun runs, anything like that?
Nothing at this moment.
Nothing at the moment. No.
You mentioned earlier we have a new management team, so we're a bit anxious of what the plans are going forward. But I mean, I think they have a interview or a session tonight.
My good friend Godfrey Africa has been elected as your chairperson.
Re-elected as the chairperson.
Re-elected as the chairperson. I think you're in safe hands there. Energetic.
For my guys, it's only training.
Only training. Are you guys? We didn't speak about that actually. And I heard you talking about that earlier on. There's a lot of teams now have said now they're taking a break, but you guys are busy with off-season training.
The guys were busy with off-season training at the HBC.
Yeah.
So some of the guys are, well, some of our veterans are mostly or more experienced players. They're actually taking a break now, but most of the young guys and some of the under-20s as well, they are busy there at the HBC. But I've just missed out on some of them because I'm still busy with Varsity Shield now for CPUT.
Talking about off-season training, the DHL Stormers are, of course, busy with their off-season training at the moment. They're training at the HBC. Still waiting for some of the Springboks to come back after their a bit of a rest, so to speak, after their overseas leg. But the Stormers are busy with their off-season training at the moment. They're busy with strength and conditioning and some hand speed and making sure the muscles are all ready to go come the last week in February. We managed to get down to the High Performance Centre in Belleville to watch some of the guys practice. Of course, Cape Rugby TV, as partner to Western Province Rugby, as fortunate enough to get some exclusive footage there on a weekly basis.
Ja, obviously ons geniet mekaar, hulle geniet die tyd saam met mekaar, harde werk wat ingesit word, en ons sien regtig baie uit na volgende jaar se seisoen. Ons beplan regtig om 'n goeie seisoen te hê volgende jaar. Ek dink hier is die tyd wat ons net bietjie bond saam met mekaar, die ouens leer ken mekaar bietjie. En ja, vat is dit maar daarvan af. Ja, ek is oorspronklik van Rywensmeet, net so oor die brug. Al die jare in die Kaap rugby gespeel, ek het by Maties studeer. Waarskap gespeeld by Maties, baie dankbaar vir die geleentheid daar gewees. En hy het net weer my loopbaan opgestel, en toe het ek weer geleentheid gekry om by WP te speel. En daarvan af toe kon ek by die Stormers uitkom. So ja, was 'n harde pad, Maar op die einde van de dag het ek uitgekom, ja. En elke fytvol ondersteuner, ons wil net namens die Stormers baie dankie sê vir julle ondersteuning in 2018. Dankie dat julle vir ons dit dik en dun ondersteun het. En ons hoop om julle weer in 2019 op Nieuweland te sien. En geniet die Kersfees, veilig wees en op die paaie, met drink en bestuur nie. En alles van die beste vir die nuwe jaar vir 2019.
The DHL Stormers certainly look like they're having a lot of fun. Hopefully the weather doesn't get too hot, but the kit looks like the kit is in full force there as the players are, apparently the players are going to be wearing different jerseys next year. They're going to be dressed in Thor and Spider-Man and Batman. And
yeah, I think that was arranged for the home derbies. Next year for the Super Rugby.
Yeah.
I think the Stormers are wearing the Thor colours.
Stormers, I think, are wearing Thor colours, and from what I understand, it's like a deal that SA Rugby have made with, or World Rugby have made with Marvel Comics.
Well,
that is
you guys going to wear any comic clothes?
I doubt we're going to do that.
You're not
I
going to
think
wear
we're going traditional
Bugs Bunny
jerseys.
or anything like that?
I don't think the clubs will agree to that.
Teletubbies?
But then the sponsors must come on board.
for
Maybe
the
they can.
sponsors,
Maybe you can organize school to do it for the clubs here.
Maybe. Folks, right, of course, JJ Engelbrecht and Salman Marat, part of the squad there. Salman Marat come through the ranks and has really done us proud. Let's catch up with the boys.
I think pre-season has been very good so far. You know, they've tried to make it a bit more fun and change it up a bit. You know, we try and train here 2-3 days a week, and other days we try and get away. You know, see Cape Town, make the best of the city. You know, train all over the show. So it's very nice, very energetic. At this specific moment, I'm feeling a bit drained and need energy, but you know, we'll go away in next week and we'll come back recharged in Jan again. Yeah, I started off here. You know, I came here after school. I grew up as a big Western Province supporter, so this is the only place I wanted to come as a schoolboy. So yeah, I was here for 4 years, and then I went to Pretoria and Japan and went away for a bit. But I'm back in the Cape now, and I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, you know, I'm really grateful for the opportunity that I got. You know, as you said, I'm still only 19 years old, but you know, hopefully I can just grow from strength to strength and hopefully get a couple more opportunities in the next couple of years. And you know, hopefully we'll just see how it goes, and I'll just continue learn and better my game. Yeah, you know, like you said, I come from Paul. It's a really, it's a town known for rugby, especially come from my family, you know. So yeah, I'm just, like I said earlier on, I'm really grateful for the opportunity that I got, and hopefully I can just keep proving that I belong here and improving my game, and hopefully I can get a couple more opportunities.
Oh, fantastic to catch up there with the boys, the Stormers boys. Of course, we're getting ready for next year, and I'm sure we're going to have a power season. I think I might see if I can get myself one of those jerseys. I'm sure that the jerseys are, of course, going to be part of the Newlands Faithful, or we'd call it just the Faithful package, right? That's, of course, the Western Province Rugby Supporters Club. For just R1,000, you can join the Western Province Rugby Supporters Club and you get a free jersey, you get a cap, you get a members card, you get certain deals and discounts and vouchers. It's a whole lot of stuff, Can't even remember everything that you get when you join that membership card there. But it's just $1,000, and I think the package in total, once you pay your R1,000, is valued at more than R3,000. So I think that's a good deal. Darren, what's next on the cards for Macassar? When will we see you guys raise your heads?
I think from this week onwards we will be starting. I think we've got a few contracts with Virgin Active, so the guys
in Somerset West?
Yes, in Somerset West.
West,
yeah, so they can do functional body training and obviously CrossFit training. Yep. That's for the off season up until the end of December, and then early January start with pre-season for 2019.
You guys really do, like, you've upped the notch. Like I said in the beginning when the show, when we first started speaking, it really does look like there's a professional environment there. Warren and the guys really, and Godfrey, well done. Becky Temba, for you guys, you say you're still busy with your off-season training.
Yes. The program at the HBC ended last week, but then some of the guys are training now individually using the Langa Sports Complex. But some of the guys are, as I've said before, they're taking a break now. So, but we're gonna kick off at the first week of January.
First week in
Kicking off the
January,
first
back
week
on
of
the
January.
park.
Yes, sir.
Right. You make sure that all you guys are using the hashtag Olympic Club Rugby, sending us pictures and telling us. Oh, that's what we were saying earlier on, folks, about the community notice board. Keep sending us your information so that we can tell people what you're up to, the times, the places, and what's happening at the venue, whether it be hot dogs or food stalls or fun runs or fundraising. Let us know so we can tell everybody else, and then you'll get more people at your venue. Clyde, and you guys as well? Take time for a break, come back early January?
Yeah, but we have our last week of training.
Okay.
So it's training still on tomorrow, Thursday.
Right.
And then we're taking a break because we have a new coaching staff, or the new head coach and backline coach.
We've got a little bit of introduction to do,
So
get to know each other.
It's getting to know each other. It's more just fun and games right now.
Yeah.
And then they said we're starting the 8th of Jan.
Yeah, that's sort of the first week after the time frame, yeah. Darren, thanks for joining us. Hopefully we'll see you again sometime soon.
Thank you, Topi, for having us here.
Yeah, Becky Tamba, tell Alfred Kiwana we send our best wishes.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us here. Thank you.
And Clyde, to you as well, to everybody at Goodwood. Tell them all we say hello.
Yeah, thanks a lot, yeah. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no, it's been great. Right, folks, fantastic to have the boys here from Macassar, Bazibi's and Goodwood on the show. Join us next week again. Of course, next week it'll be Boxing Day, but nevertheless, we'll bring you a Boxing Day special. A little bit of fun and games from the world of Western Province Club Rugby. That's a wrap from us here. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.